I would like to tell you a story of an incident that happened 7 years ago that changed my life completely, and consequently the lives of many women working here in Holland. What happened was this. I was reading the newspaper one day, and then there was an article, an interview with a CEO of a Dutch multinational who shall remain nameless here today. It was about a woman he'd hired from Switzerland, the first woman in the top 200 of his company. When asked why he appointed a woman from abroad, he said, "There are no capable, ambitious Dutch women. There are no capable, ambitious Dutch women." Well, this did not sit well with me. I had an entirely different point of view. I knew lots of capable, ambitious Dutch women. I was amazed that someone in his position would have the perception that there were no capable, ambitious Dutch women. And if he did, in fact, say this, why would he think that was true? In any event, I was so upset that for the first time in my life, I came into action in response to a newspaper article. I called about 25 women that I had met in a long career in Dutch business, and I asked them, "Send me your resume." I saw the whole thing in my mind's eye. I was going to get them all formatted in the same way, bind it into a big book, carry it into this guy, and put it down and say, "Why would you think there are no women? No capable, ambitious Dutch women?" Well, I'm sorry to say, I never did implement this plan. It was a lot of work, and it wasn't my job, and it was one of those fantasies that comes by where the implementation is just a bridge too far. But some months afterwards, one of those women called me, a friend from Harvard Business School, and she said, "When are we going to do something? When are we going to do something about the fact that instead of a slow but gradual increase in women in top positions, that there's a decline? You know, that wasn't supposed to be happening. It was supposed to get better, not worse." So we got together on the weekend and we did some brainstorming about what we could do to make sure that more women would be appointed to top positions. And we came up with this plan for getting more women on non-executive boards. We would focus on the top. And our plan of action was a miracle of simplicity. We would get ourselves in to see the chairman of supervisory boards, and in some point of in that conversation, we would say, "Well, you know, why no women on your board?" And he would say, "Well, there are no women." And we would say, "Well, there are many qualified women. You may not know them, but we would be pleased to introduce you to a number of women with the background and experience that you need, and we guarantee that there will surely be one amongst them that you would like to invite to be on your board." Well, to make a long story short, this plan was the beginning of a number of activities we undertook, starting with a symposium for supervisory board chairman, and that generated a lot of publicity. I remember we were on the front page of the financial newspaper and in some articles in newspapers and other magazines, and that eventually led to a result, which meant I was called out of the blue by someone who said, "Gee, we're looking for a woman for a non-executive board or an advisory board, and do you know anybody?" And so it came to be that in the year 2005, I was able to put forward 11 women who were appointed to positions on a supervisory and advisory board. And then I thought, well, is this a sign? Is this a sign that people are willing to do this and they really don't know that there are women? And is the main thing to ensure that women are visible to the naked male eye so that they can be considered for these positions? Since then, I have dedicated my life to making women visible for top positions for which they are eminently qualified. Together with a partner, I started an executive search firm for women. This is our 5th year. We have appointed women to top Dutch positions, more than 100 women in all sorts of organizations, listed companies, non-listed, hospitals, governmental, not-for-profit organizations. About half of these are non-executive board positions. So in the past 5 years, we have invested in meeting many thousands of the top Dutch women in Holland. And by the top, I mean those women that have the background and experience, the intelligence and the will and the drive to lead and to achieve results in their fields of endeavor. There are women in every sector, in every function, at every management level. And there, except, of course, at the very top levels. In other words, there are almost no women on executive boards. Along the way, I've learned a few things. One of those is that people still say women are not ambitious, and that is patently untrue. Women have different definitions of success. And that doesn't always include the ambition for the top job in a corporation or other organization. And thank God, because we couldn't all be there, and not all men are ambitious in that way. But at least 50% of the women are anxious to contribute to society and to develop their full potential for leadership, and to do that in organizations. But women are ambitious for different things, and they have different points of departure. And a woman almost never wants power for herself. She wants influence and impact. So I'm saying this because it's important. The current way of thinking equates success with money and power. Women do not want power, and they do not want money. I have spoken to thousands of women, and by the time I ask them, what do you earn or what do you need to earn for it to be attractive for you to take a next step, almost all of those women say money is not the most important thing. And once again, the current thinking equates success with money and power. Now, why do we want women in the top? Well, many reasons, but you certainly can't argue with the fact that business and society in general have not been doing exceedingly well in the last years. We need a new definition of success. The attributes of success that define the current system are power and money. And that cannot continue to be the only way to measure how well we are doing. So my argument now is that it is time for a new thinking and a new systems and structures based on a different definition of success. We need men and women in the top to make this happen. We need to come together with a new definition of success, one that can be shared by both men and women, that incorporates our best values and best virtues and the strengths that are inherent in either success, in either sex. And when we do that, we will be able to create a better and more equitable society. Thank you for your attention.